G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bears Shed. Well, Happy New Year 2019. It's the 1st of January 2019 and it's about 3 in the morning, I suppose. And yeah, didn't go out partying last night. Just too much of an old fart for that nowadays. But anyway, we've had a great year 2018 and we got a lot done. The channel grew and yeah, we bought a few tractors and I don't think we sold any. But anyway, we don't have to sell them. The weather report at the moment is look, our low temperature of a night is 21 degrees C and the high temperatures through the day is 31 degrees C. And the last couple of days I haven't been in Bundy Bears Shed, I've been outside. You might notice the tan. Well, buddy, the tan is from I've put a lawn locker up for duty. When we got the carport extensions done outside to put Bundy Bears box in, I got an extra slab done down the other end, and we have a 3,000 gallon water tank that takes the runoff off the carports and the pool room. But I also got a 4 metre wide slab done at about must be 7, 8, about 8.5 metres long, I think, from memory. And anyway, the original plan was that we got the framework from in the shop at Queensland Tractor Spares when we did the renovations, and we were going to reuse that and put a lawn locker up. But I looked at it, and by the time I ginned around it, I dicked about and got the frame up and all that, I'd been, well, April we moved into our new shop, April 2018, and I had the frame, a couple of bits of frame sitting out there half jigged up, and I just wasn't real keen on getting right into that part of it. So anyway, Bunnings have I spoke to the council about it, and the council said that we could put up a 3 metre square lawn locker just for garden tools and things like that without council approval. And but they said, of course you'd have it certified and all that. And yeah, bloody oath, yeah, we do that. And, so anyway, we went to Bunnings and they had one there in cream colour bond, which matches the other sheds and all that sort of thing. So it matches the fence and all that. So I spent the last 2 days putting that up, and look, they're pretty good value. They're like 550 Aussie dollars, and I have a trade card at Bunnings, and from renovations and buying and selling sheds over the years and that, and look, that saved $30 off it, so about 5% roughly. So yeah, we got that, and I've spent the last couple of days out doing that. So no work in the shed, but it's been hot, man. I've gone through some fluid, but it's looking nice. The whole thing's up. Judy's got it half full already. I haven't made the doors as yet. I'll probably do that over the next day or so. 1st of January today. I've got to go to work tomorrow and start work again for the year. So how bloody crook was that? So, but anyway, look, it's been a nice break we've had. I've only put out a couple of videos over the time, and yeah, we've sort of been more inclined to just do catch-up jobs and things like that. You might be able to hear Kelly dog in the background. She's barking at kangaroos. She's normally asleep at this time of the day, but I'm a bit stiff and sore and sorry from all the work I've been doing. I'm getting soft in my old age. This I think office work about does me. But anyway, that's all right. It's another job done, and I've just got to finish a bit of fence on that big planter box, and I can start filling it with dirt so the dogs can't get out. So that's good. With one dog less, when the young bloke and his missus parted company, he brought 2 dogs home with him, and she's all sort of wanted the one back, and anyway, he let her have it back. So, which that's a good thing. The difference from having 4 dogs to 3 dogs is huge. Judy was saying, just the dogs do come inside our place, and old Coco, she's about 16 now, and she just sits around on an old beanbag, but the rest were quite lively. So we're noticing a pleasant change, and that Sansa, she looks like a bit of a German Shepherd Border Collie cross sort of thing, really, and I've had her out in the shed with me the last few days, and look, she's done really well. She sits in the doorway there and just sits and looks out the front, so that's a good thing. Yesterday when I was doing the lawn locker, we'd been up the shed and back, half a dozen trips sort of thing, really, and look, she was she was happy to just stay up there in the end, so which wasn't bad. I've got the aircon straight above me here going, so I'm not sure how that goes for sound. How the sound goes with a little bit of a hum in the background, but I can just hear it starting to wind up. It must have just cycled in or something. So anyway, not to worry. But look, over the break, I've had a few old thinners, drums, and things like that, and I've just made a couple of pots, and Jude's had an old oil drum, and I find when I'm doing carbies for people and things like that, getting the old tins and running the top over them is a good thing. This one here, I put a wire in the top of it, and look, that's all right. Got a lot of rooting around. I forgot how difficult all that could be, and actually there's a wire in both of these, and then I've also got some drills. I've got my drill pot from up the back, and I've got a few drills to sort out. So this is just an old tin of drills that'll sit near the drill up the back, near the big pedestal drill up the back. So I've been doing a little bit of catch up there. This is where I should have been, in the shipping container with the aircon on, machining away through the heat of the day. But anyway, we only have one. Judy and I only have one break a year, and we have about 10 days at Christmas time. So this is it. This is our holidays. But we are planning a trip down south later this year, and we're hoping business picks up enough that we can get another staff member back on, and just crank up like that. I've got on the end of this stew, I've got making a bracket, and the bracket is for, I have a couple of gearboxes coming up to do, and I have the 135, Massey Ferguson 135 6-speed gearbox I'd like to run through. I have my mate Davey Rocket Recos, Massey 65 6-speed. He's bought the parts now, so we're ready to roll through that. And I have the Massey Ferguson 135 multi-power box to do. And I also have the 1948 TE20 gearbox to do. So I had a look at my options with making a stand on the ground and things like that. And in the past, I've had when I had the workshop, I had a low stand, so you could bend over the gearbox sort of thing and see into it. But look, I've got the engine stand there, so I'm planning on using that. I've made a bracket to bolt onto the side. Now on the side of the Fergies, where the gearbox casting is, you have a gearbox casting, and where there's a fat piece of the casting that comes out of the side where the foot plate bolts on. Now, look, the casting is around 1 1/4 inch thick through there, and it sort of tapers back thinner to where it's probably half an inch around, but it's a large surface area. And what I've chose to do is make a gearbox bracket that bolts onto the 3 bolts that hold the foot plate on. So we can either have it on the left hand side or the right hand side of the gearbox. The stud pattern's the same, and it appears that the stud pattern is the same on the 35, 65, 165, TE20, all that sort of thing. So the idea is I've made a sturdy stand. You could hold a bloody jumbo jet up with the bastard. I think it's plenty strong enough, and I've made it to bolt onto the side of the gearbox, and that way with my engine stand I can crank the handle and I can roll the gearbox up on its end if I'd like to slide something in, or roll the other end, or see in. So I just thought, I've got the stand there, I may as well use the tools I have and make life easy. So I've drilled the holes to go into the side of the gearbox. I still have the Perkins engine off the 135 6-speed on the stand at this stage, but look, it won't be long and it'll be coming off, and then all I have to do then is clamp the plate to the mounting plate on the gearbox on the engine stand, and mark the holes and drill 4 holes, and away we go. We're ready to do some gearboxes. The Perkins engine's just about done. I've just popped out just this morning part number 36, which was fitting the rocker gear and all that sort of thing. I put the rocker gear in, set the tappets, and did the thermostat. And I thought later on, I've got 2 cameras there. I shouldn't have one up the top and then one shooting down in to see what I'm doing closer. But I do have a little bit of trouble with the cameras. They both read the light differently. But at this stage, I said it was 3 in the morning. I didn't really want to go up undoing the shed, and the shed's 200 metres away, and bring all the tripods down and all that sort of stuff. So I've put a couple of pegs on the back door of the shipping container, and I've got the old camera sitting on there, and I've got and those 2 pegs I've only just put there in the last few days, and I'll turn around, I'll spin you around later and I'll show you where they are, and they're on the thick part of the doors, and that gives me the option of shooting down that way to the milling machine. Shooting the other way to the lathe, it's a bit blind because of the head of the lathe, but I have one sitting out on above the lathe, and because I have no tripods down here and it's dark and I haven't gone for a wander because the dogs would bark and wake Judy up and all that sort of thing. We've been up half the night with dogs and fireworks and all that anyway, so where we live in Bundy here, we're very close to town, so whenever they pop the fireworks off, we could just walk out the front and we can see them, which is nice. But old Kelly dog, she bloody starts shivering like a dog shitting razor blades, and look, they had them at 7:30, 8:30, 9:30, then around midnight, and then bugging me dead at 1:30 this morning. They got them going off again, and there was some bloody big bastards there. I don't know what that was, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. But wake me up, and how I had Kelly dog up on the bed, he being a pain in the arse, but not to worry. Being out in the shed early this morning, I've got a couple of jobs to do, and if you remember me having a bit of a whinge about the kingpin housings on the multi-power tractor, and when this bracket was there, the thrust bearing was out in the open, and I just wasn't that fussed with it. So what I've done, I've taken it off. I've started on this one anyway, and the shield and the steering stop I've taken off, and I just ground down the sides and got a cold chisel in under and rolled it around, and it looks like it had a hole drilled in it and a plug weld around here. So I took that off, and I've gone and got myself 2 bits of steel, and this should give me enough to hang on to nicely. It's 3 inches round, a bit of old shafting I had. It's 3 inches around, and I have the axles off the multi-power to copy off. Now, the ones on the multi-power, they were a full circle all the way around. Then they had a piece here where the thrust bearing was, it was sheltered. So if it was raining or you had mud flicking around and all that, well, when the kingpin sat down and the bearing was in there, it was shielded from the normal run-of-the-mill rubbish. And then when you greased your kingpin, it'd probably bit out each end sort of thing. So I just wasn't happy with it. I got one of these from Quality Tractor Parts, and I got the other one from Sparex, and they're exactly the same. They both need doing, and it's just part of dropping the 135 multi-power down to a standard setting. At the moment it sits up at the front, and whoever's what the previous owner has done at some stage, they've cut the housing here and they've put 100 millimetres in, or look, a good 100 mil, probably 4 or 5 inches, 5 inches maybe in, and then they've welded it back on again. And they've done a pretty shit job, and looks like I welded it, really. But anyway, so look, we're going to turn up some new ones, and then I have the old ones. I can run a straight edge, the straight edge down the side of here and down here, and we can work out exactly where the steering stops need to go. So so I'm going to start that today. I'll film that. I'll film doing one of them at least anyway, and whether that goes on the Massey Ferguson 135 multi-power restoration video series, I think it probably will. But anyway, we'll just see how we go with that. I'll go handheld for a minute. I'll just show you the pegs on the wall, and how I've got the camera mounted up the end there at the moment. It looks like I'm from Longreach, your way, the buggery down that end. Well, the camera at the moment's, it's a 20-foot container, a 6-metre container, and you're probably, I'm probably a metre from the back wall, and you're right on the back wall, so you're 5 metres away, 15 feet away. But that's just how it is this morning. I was going to do the stew today sometime, but it turns out I shit the bed and had to hop up early. So I'll just put that back down there. So look, that's about it for this week. Have a happy new year. We'll go handheld there, and on the end here I've got making that bracket. I'm going to call myself Rag Engineering, rough as guts. I don't know why I did it, but I thought I'd do a bit of stick welding. I hadn't done some stick welding, and I got a great little inverter welder, and I've just haven't done it for ages, and I got that out and had to go, and anyway, look, it come out all right. Looks like the bloody flock of pelicans flew over the top. Some of the birds shit bloody wells, but look, they are strong. There's plenty of penetration there and all that sort of thing, but it doesn't look the best. So, but anyway, I'll get this stew tidied up and rendered, and I'll see if it's daylight. Then I'll wander up the back. I've actually painted the whole bracket, so we'll see how we go. We've got a little bit of shadow there. But the milling machine's here. But yeah, I've got these pegs, and they're drilled and tapped into the end of the shipping container, and that's a gimbal sitting there. So that gimbal, it gives us all of the turn round, up, down, all that sort of thing that we need. So, and coming around on top of the lathe, there's another peg there, and I am thinking of popping this out and putting a thread up here and making it so I can have two, and that'll get me down the barrel of the lathe just a little bit better. But yeah, from the, if I bring the camera back around here, that should give me a pretty good view of what goes on at the milling machine. But yeah, so that's just a little bit of an improvement. I've got a magnet here that holds my stainless steel rulers now. Everyone knows stainless steel's magnetic, eh? Or Chinese stainless steel's magnetic. So there you go. Yeah, then when we swing around, well, I should be able to, yeah, there's my little mill. And we swing around up the other end there. So anyway, that's it. Okay, I'm over this left-hand side here, and I'm just getting myself organised for doing a bracket to swing the gearbox on, because we're coming up to that shortly. And what we have here is there's a plate that goes there, and then you have this here with the radius rod, and leaning across everything here, and that's your foot plate. So where this housing comes out here, you can see the bulge as it thickens up to take the stresses from you know, the radius rods coming back and everything like that. So what I've gone ahead and done is I have a plate here, and look, these plates, I just get them from the laser cutting place in town. They don't have them all the time. When they got them, I just grab whatever size they have, I don't mind, and they come in really handy. This is a bit of 1/2 inch plate. So what I've done is the first little triangle plate here, I've used that as a template, and that's going to be part of a bracket to go onto the engine stand, the stand that I've got the engine on at the moment, and it rotates and all that. So I thought if I could make a stand here that bolted onto that, well, that way I could rotate the gearbox up and down to get at this end or that end or whatever we needed to do. And in doing that, that would give us well, it'll just make it nice and easy to work on. So far what I've done is I've done the plate, I've cut a piece here, and what I'm planning on doing is that piece of thick wall box section there, I'm actually going to pop a little piece of flat down each side, and that'll spread out the surface area nicely for the job that needs to be done. So what it will end up like is it'll have a piece like that, and then another piece welded on here, and if that doesn't want to fall over on me, another piece here, and that will give us access to the bolts here to do it up. Now, some gearboxes, these studs will want to come out, or they do come out, so I might just do a set of bolts up that we can take the studs out, but I also might jump on the lathe and make a little spacer there. And the little spacer, it might work well for yeah, if these studs don't want to come out, we can just turn up 1.5 inch long spacer, use the original studs and things like that. So there you go, that's the start of it. Now, the next part is to set this up and pop over and weld it. So I've got a MIG welder here, but I haven't done a bit of stick welding for a while, so I'm just going to stick weld it just for the fun of it. Okay, you can see I've got the bracket set up over here on the welding bench. Now, this is just a bit of box with this is just to help clamp at the top disc there. I've got my little old stick welder here. Now that's my plasma cutter with a stick welder on it, and I like stick welding now and then. I do have MIGs and things, but now and then I just like to have a fiddle. So we'll run a bead here and a bead there just to hold it straight, and then the idea is to bring a plate in either side and just tack that on, and that'll just share the load out through here and still leave openings for the bolts. So I'll just come around the back here where I'm comfortable and drop a bit of an arc on. And that reminds me, I do need my glasses on doing this. So I'll drop my glasses on under my, under my welding mask, because when you get an old fart, that's what you need. Okay, so we'll just drop this bloke in here. We'll just put a bit of a tack up here. Where am I? A bit of a tack here. God, it's terrible getting blind. You just wave the rod around till you get somewhere close. Now, we'll find a little square. That'll do for a bit, I think. And there you go. Welding lesson's over for the day. If you're learning off me, you're in trouble. Alright, we'll go and cool that down and we'll pop a bit of slag and we'll have a look at what we got. Okay, we've got this tidied up as best we're going to, and I thought that I'd have to wait and drill this, but look, there's no worries. I can actually set this up on the plate and we can drill this anywhere later on. So I think I have the pivot here look reasonably close, and that doesn't matter either. The engine stand's certainly well capable of supporting things off centre. But if we put the pivot there, that'll give us room for some bolts here and a couple more down there. So look, I think all I'll do now is I'll run a couple of beads through here, and that'll do the job. We'll be out of this part of it, and then I can actually tidy it up a bit and pop some paint on it. So we'll find a couple of rods, some glasses,
certainly not peeling off. I have a little CIG welder that's only a tiny little thing, and I can usually get them to peel with that. Ah, but look, that'll come up alright. A few little beads inside here, and we should be nice and strong. That's not a very nice weld, that inside one. I just feel it. Okay, we'll go and tidy that up and see what we've got.